I'm excited for our second proposal, ICP. As I told the group last week, I would ask that you keep an open mind for the proposal last week and this week. And I know they will share with you the information that they're going to be collecting this evening and over the next week or so as we start to make our determination on the next phase of Midway Mall. But I do want to thank Commissioner Moore and the commissioners, as well as the Lorain County Port Authority led by Amy Richards and Jim Miller, for keeping the city of Elyria involved in the redevelopment of the mall. They've been very gracious in keeping me and allowing me to sit in on the executive sessions to hear from all the proposals and give input to the Port Authority. So I'm very grateful on behalf of the city of Elyria to be a part of this program. Tonight I'd like to introduce my friend and colleague from the Lorain County Commissioner's Office, Commissioner Dave Moore.
Okay, I appreciate that. Okay. I'm Dave Moore. I'm your Lorain County Commissioner. This is a project that's been we've been working on for almost 2 years. The Port Authority's been around for about 23 years. And the purpose of the Port Authority is really what you're seeing today. You know, to use it as an enticement to bring local businesses in, and basically that's what we're seeing today. Now what we have seen already in executive session, we've had the proposals, there are several proposals, and the Port Authority made the decision to 2. And last week, if you were here, you saw the first one. And now tonight you're gonna see the second one. And I believe both of them are great. And Amy's gonna be introducing the board members. I wouldn't wanna be in their shoes because they're gonna have to make some tough decisions on not only what's best for the community, but what's best for you, the taxpayers, because as the county commissioners, we did have a lot of excess funds from the federal government with all these ARPA funds. So what do you do with some of this excess funds? We decided to invest in ourselves by investing in a 20-year blighted mall and giving the Port Authority the ability to go out, talk to professionals, and change. This is a diamond in the rough for our county, not just the city of Elyria. And so what we've been working on for the past year and a half is partnerships. And with the partnerships that we've created with a lot of the townships, the cities, and the Port Authority, I'm very proud to be working hand in hand with the city of Elyria. And it's been really a pleasant working environment, working with the city and the new mayor. So I did want to say thank you. It's been great working with him. I know he's only been on for about 6 weeks or 7 weeks now, 8 weeks now. Yeah, you're counting every day. But it's been a pleasure. And we're really excited what's going to happen. Again, I've talked to these guys. The board has saw the presentation. The mayor and I sat there and they allowed us to come in and watch it too. So, keep an open mind. And afterwards, we're going to talk about how we're going to do questions and answers, okay? But thank you. I'm going to introduce to you the board president of the Port Authority, Amy Richards. Amy?
Thank you, Commissioner Moore. The Port Authority Board, we have been working on this for the last over a year now. I just want to take a minute to recognize our board members that are here. So if you can come up front, Brittany, come up front. Brittany, she's our board vice chair, Brittany Nazario. John Novak's here. We have former Mayor David Gillock from North Ridgeville, Dan Gross, I don't think he's here, Marty Gallagher, Nick Spatario, and our recording secretary who's hiding in the back, Nicole Finnery. Wave. Great. Now I'm going to turn this over to our executive director, Jim Miller.
Thank you so much, Amy. Over a year ago, the Port Authority started on this journey to figure out a way to redevelop this mall into something viable and beneficial to the citizens of Lorain County. And we're still in the process, and this is part of it. We wanted to invite you, the public, to hear the presentations. We did one last week, and we're doing one again tonight. So I think you're here to hear about the proposals. So I'd like to introduce from Industrial Commercial Properties, I always want to say partners, but it's properties, Chris Salata.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Salat. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Industrial Commercial Properties. You're going to hear me refer to us as ICP. Too many letters in Industrial Commercial Properties, so we'll shorten it to keep it easy tonight. We are thrilled to be here tonight. I want to thank the Port Authority. I want to thank the City of Elyria and the county for including us in this process. We've been involved in this property for a long time. We are a Cleveland-based company. We are 28 years old. We own 47 million square feet of property in 8 states, and we've made our first acquisition in great country of Mexico last year, so we're now officially international. We have 350 tenants in our portfolio, and we have 150 different properties. So this is something we wake up and we do every single day. In the late 90s, I should say, in the early 2000s, we were one of the largest acquirers of the former vacant auto plants throughout the states of Ohio and Michigan. And what we did is we went in and took those auto plants that had been, abandoned by some of the automakers, and we took those and we recreated business parks in those facilities. You may be familiar with the Ford assembly plant in Lorain. That is one of our projects. I'm happy to report that that project is now 100% leased. We have 4 different businesses operating in that facility. We've done that countless times with our friends at GM and at Chrysler as well. And so we fast forward now to the 2020s, and the new auto plant is the regional mall. There are 1,200 retail regional malls in the country. We believe 300 of them will survive. And so we have started on a crusade of redeveloping these properties into business parks. We've created job hubs, we've created economic development, and we've done it countless times. So I think one of the things I want you to hear from me tonight is there's certainty of execution with our group. We do not have any outside investors. It is all of our own capital, so we don't have to raise money to perform what we'll do here and what we've done elsewhere throughout the state of Ohio. We are redevelopment experts. While we do develop from the ground up and build new facilities, our preference is to try to use the existing building and the existing infrastructure in the communities in which we enter for 2 reasons. Number 1, it's cheaper. Number 2, it's quicker to get these projects back into market. I know we're competing with another project, and I can tell you, I can't speak to that project, though I've seen and read a lot about it, but I can tell you the speed to market at which we operate is quick. There's a slide, the first board that you'll see over there on the far left outlines the economics of this potential project. It outlines the job creation that we forecast. And most importantly, it outlines the timeline by which we think we can bring this facility back to life. Chapel Hill Mall in Akron, a lot of you may be familiar with that. We acquired that completely empty 28 months ago. I'm happy to report it is fully leased, 100%. 4 businesses are in that mall today. We've created 300 new jobs in that community. And we have examples, we have before and after pictures of Chapel Hill that you can see, and you can see the stark difference in what it looks like today versus what it looked like when the mall shut down. And I think the one thing that you'll learn about us and our projects is we start right away. We're not very patient developers. So when we get involved with something, we don't kick the tires, we don't buy something and sit on it for years. We get active immediately. And so one of the first things we will do, especially on a mall redevelopment project, is you have to change the narrative of the site, right? So for years, for decades, this was a retail regional mall. It was a shopping destination. And so in order to create a business park here, you have to change the narrative. And the best way to do that is cosmetically, you got to get involved right away. And so we'll add green space to the project. We will change the facade. We'll take all the retail jewelry off of the outside. Brand new paint job, brand new LED lights, brand new landscape, brand new paving. We basically need to put our flag in the ground and let people understand that this site in Elyria, Ohio, and in Lorain County is now open for business. It's no longer a shopping center, but it's open for businesses to bring their jobs and their manufacturing businesses here. So 50% of our portfolio are manufacturing companies. And many of you have probably seen since the pandemic and since the stress that has been placed upon the supply chain, many companies are bringing their manufacturing back to the United States, which is a terrific thing. It's a terrific thing for our country, but it's really good for our business. And we're seeing foreign countries bring their manufacturing here to the United States. And so we're seeing a huge uptick in the manufacturing demand in our properties throughout our portfolio. When I say manufacturing and I say light industrial, don't think smokestacks, don't think tanning plants, don't think auto plant. Think clean, light industrial uses. Manufacturing, light assembly, and believe it or not, these types of users will have less truck traffic coming to their place of business on a daily basis than the mall did in its heyday. So when you have 50 to 100 retailers here operating every day, the deliveries that would have to take place to keep this thing at a peak performance were unlimited. These manufacturing tenants that we have in our other properties, they may see 1 to 2 deliveries a week, depending on what they're manufacturing and what their business is. What we're able to create is we're able to create a multi-tenant business park, which actually will serve the community as a mutual fund. So if we think in the terms of investing, if you have a single stock and that single stock doesn't perform well, or that single stock goes bankrupt, or that company goes bankrupt, it's all or nothing. You lose that. This business park concept, it's a tried and true concept that we've done throughout the country. This would be our 7th mall redevelopment. This would be our 10th retail turnaround project. If one tenant doesn't work out, the project doesn't crater, which means there's sustainability to this model. There's sustainability, there's certainty of execution. And so what we'll do is we'll market this to a variety of different businesses. And I think if you went down to Chapel Hill, which everyone's welcome to do, there's 4 completely different businesses operating in that mall today. There's a cabinet manufacturer. There is a company called Driverge, and we've included a shot of their assembly line. Driverge takes minivans or Sprinter vans and converts them for the handicapped. So they were operating in 4 different locations. They decided to consolidate with us at Chapel Hill Business Park. Instead of moving their vehicles 26 times and turning the wheel 26 times, they now travel a quarter mile from one end of the mall to the other. They use the massive parking area for storage of their vehicles before they go through the assembly line. So there's amenities here that this building has that lend themselves terrifically to business park redevelopment. You've got a large square footprint of a building. You've got terrific infrastructure and utility. The power here at this mall, compared to what a straightforward 200 to 300,000 square foot industrial building is 10, 20x. If you build a 300,000 square foot industrial building, you might have 1,200 to 2,000 amps. This mall has multi-megawatts of power. The first question we get asked by manufacturing users, and we're active all over the state of Ohio, is how much power do you have? Well, we can say in this asset that we have enough power to support a very large manufacturing use, which might not be able to go elsewhere in the state of Ohio. You have the parking, which a lot of businesses will utilize not just for employees, but they'll utilize it for materials that you can properly screen that are part of their manufacturing process. You also have a terrific location. We're lodged, as everybody knows, between Route 2 and the Turnpike. From a logistical standpoint, if I'm running a manufacturing business, this is a damn good spot to be. I can get on either interstate and go east or west and get to where I need to be. We're located, obviously, close to Cleveland. We believe this is the western gateway of the greater Cleveland market. And so I think getting control of this mall was really smart by the Port Authority. I think that was a very smart move, and I think it had to happen in order to create this process that we're going through today. The ownership used to be splintered, and by bringing it all under one roof, we're now able to kind of dictate the vision of where this property can go into the future. In addition to Chapel Hill Mall, another project that I think is important to highlight that we've done in the Cleveland area is a project called City View Center. City View Center, as you may know, was built on the former landfill at 480 and Transportation. It was a fully occupied, thriving Walmart anchored power center, about 550,000 square feet, not much smaller than this project. We acquired that shopping center. It's a power center, but we acquired that power center a couple of years ago. I'm happy to report we have 6 headquarters now located in a former retail project there. Hundreds of employees, less truck traffic, and great economic development for the city of Garfield Heights, who at one point in time when Walmart left wasn't sure what they were going to do, similar to when these large department stores leave here. So I think that what I want you to leave with tonight and the images that you see tonight are that there's certainty of execution in what we do, and we do it at a very high quality. We want to make sure that this is something that the community, the county, and the port are extremely proud of. And we want this to serve as a beacon for corporate users who want to be located here in Elyria and Lorain County. And so you got to make it pretty on the outside first and foremost, which we'll do. Then we'll come in and we'll essentially demolish the entire interior. We want almost a clean plate to start with. So we have some pictures that you can see as you walk down the line of what Chapel Hill, for example, looked like. It looked just like this. Matter of fact, the front of Chapel Hill, there was a carousel there when we got there, which we donated to the city of Akron. There was a food court. That is now the office for a company called Quantex. They love the glass, they love the skylights. It's one of the coolest offices in Northeast Ohio. You'll see that when we clear out all these demising walls and you're able to clear out all the former retail stores, this place is much bigger than you think. The nice part is we're able then to go back after we put the paint job in, after we upgrade the lights, after we polish all the floors, and we can put the walls, the demising walls, pretty much wherever we want. And we can almost do it on a build-to-suit basis for the individual users. The best part of that is there's no more wasted space within the facility. So we have a ton of common area that we call it in the real estate business that exists today that costs a bunch of money to heat and to cool, and you constantly have to keep it clean. What we're able to do in these mall redevelopments is we're able to eliminate the common area. It enables us to give every single corporate user their own entrance, their own office, their own plant. So there's no mixing of pedestrian traffic and truck traffic. There's no mixing of the businesses. And when you look at our site plan, it's kind of easy to understand how the businesses can back up to one another. And what you've done then is you've created a community. And this is the last thing I want to tell you tonight. When you activate the mall, and like I said, this will be our 7th one. When you activate the donut hole, everything around it comes to life. We have seen this play out at Randall Park Mall. We're seeing this play out in Akron at Chapel Hill Mall. We're redeveloping a property in Elkhart, Indiana right now, which in 7 months, we've already have 75% leased after buying it empty. 7 months, we have it 75% leased. We now have retail interest on the exterior of the property. We now have multifamily developers calling us interested in putting up residential. The problem is you got to start here. You got to start in the heart of the problem, and you got to reactivate this. And when you bring the jobs and you bring the daytime population, what that will lead to is all of the surrounding businesses getting the benefit of this redevelopment project. So I think there's certainty of execution. There's a quality look about the project that you'll all be proud of. And at the end of the day, it's about bringing those jobs back to this location and bringing jobs back that are sustainable and protecting your downside. Got to protect the downside when it comes to this type of project so that if one of those businesses doesn't work out or decides to move on, you're not left holding the bag. We did that at American Greetings in Brooklyn. American Greetings former headquarters is a property of ours that we own. American Greetings had 2,500 employees there. They decided to move to Westlake. When they moved to Westlake, they left that 1.6 million square foot campus empty. All of those tax dollars, all of those income taxes, gone. We bought that facility in 2015, 9 years ago. Today we have 14 businesses operating on that campus. We have an Amazon last mile facility that we just built from the ground up on the former Memphis drive-in site. We have another 22 acres that we're currently developing today. So Medical Mutual has moved their headquarters there. Those are the types of users that we could attract to this location, I think, if we were able to execute on our vision. So I'll be here tonight as the night wraps up, along with our Senior Vice President of Development, Jeff Martin, who's raising his hand over there. We're happy to answer any questions. And I'm happy to point you to other projects within Northeast Ohio that we have executed on. And I would encourage you to go out and see them, because with real estate, there's nothing better than actually being on site, touching it, feeling it, tasting it. It's one thing to look at a bunch of poster boards. It's another thing to actually experience the real estate and see that what the vision that we've had for these properties, we've been able to execute on. So with that, I want to thank you for your time, and I look forward to talking to as many of you as I can before the night is up. Thank you very much.